Happy New Year, Spiritual Squad. Hope all is well. This is Richard from Guidance by Richard, GBR. I want to talk about some things that I mentioned I would start doing. So we are now in 2021, and we said the theme is we've only just begun in 2021. So with that being said, one of the things I mentioned that I'm going to start doing this year is really having these monthly reviews, and everything's about preparation. So it's being ahead, being prepared. We now want to be prepared. And some of the things I'm going to call, well, I'm going to call them guiding principles by Richard. So what the thought is of every month, I'm going to give you a showcase of what you should do to prepare for that month. Some action steps, things you need to do, and being very, very strategic in our approach, being prepared. This year is really about being prepared and truly taking very specific steps around that preparation so you can navigate towards your success. And so with that being said, this is the month of January. So for January, a couple of things I want to highlight. Now, I mentioned to you before about the color blue. So I have my blue, and that's really about peace, protection. It's about serenity. It's about really trying to have your life look and reflect that way just from the start. So that's kind of going to be the thought. So you're literally going to be wearing blue. You're going to have different types of blues, shades of blue around your decision making, being very, very, very specific about that. And so everything that you do, you want to include blue. So your thoughts is whatever the intention, it always goes transitions smoothly. It kind of moves that way in the same way. So we want to be thinking that same when we move and we have the waves coming, that's our intention. And so some of the other things to think about, not just the color blue, but I mentioned goals and really goals and goal setting. So I'm going to give you a couple actions that I want you to start adding, and hopefully you will do that. So being very proactive about my approach, I've also talked about the goal setting. So one of the things in terms of our communication with our higher self is our relationships to that. That higher self means if you have an altar, if you have a prayer space, anything that has that communication and connectivity, we want to really fire that up. And so that lighting that way around the intention. So I also talked about the color blue. So I already here have a blue candle. This is the one I had the other day. And so the thought behind the blue candle is really about the peace and serenity. So I will keep this candle here and I will continue to light it just when we have our session. So one of the things about lighting, that light should really be on your altar. And so this one's burning really strong. I just started it up. And look at it. Look how it's so intense. It's already ready. I mean, we're ready, kicking in already. So I have mine in water because I believe in we should always have things in water. So that's what I have there. So one of the things is the altar. So if you have a shrine, if you have a place that you do your prayers, your blessings, you really want to light the way around that color blue. So that's one thing you want to do. That's first. The second thing is about goal setting. So what do you have planned for 2021? What have you done? What are you thinking? Is it business endeavors? Is it love? Is it travel? Some of the things you want to do in terms of being prepared. This is about investing in yourself, investing in what you do. So the peace, protection, you're going to think about what you're actually going to be very specific. So that's one thing. You're going to put an actual light, a guiding light. I'm going to call a candle. That light will go on your altar. Now, if you don't already have an altar is really, and I'm gonna do a session on just the altar and show you different things. But specifically, it's a prayer space. Where do you go through your prayers at? In your own home. Perhaps you do some type of rituals, or you have a place you go, wherever. But the key thing is it's going to be in your dispense, at your home. So give some thought about that altar. And so you're going to put a light on there. Now, maybe you don't have an altar, but you might like, what are you talking about, Rich? I have no clue. So I do have altar kits. I have starter ones. I have travel ones. I think they're great. And one of the things I'm going to show you at another time what that kit looks like. But if you don't have one, it's always great to have a space that you can communicate. You need your centralized quiet place. So if you don't have one, then you want to get one. So one of the things you can order one, have some beautiful sets. Like I said, I'll demonstrate that and give you an idea what that looks like, because mine are handcrafted. They have specific tools that are included, so you don't have to go find any of that stuff. It has a little Florida water in it. It has things, it has a little altar which you can put the specific things on. There's the 4 elements. So that's one thing. So that same altar, and perhaps you don't want to disrupt your own altar. You can also have an alternative one, and one that you may travel with. So I myself have a travel kit. So I do believe in that part. So if I'm going somewhere, it's a fold up thing. It's TSA approved. You can order one of that. Just go to my website, Guidance by Richard. You'll see that. And I'm also had some brand new ones coming out. Oh my God, they're so nice. So they're handcrafted, and all the material is authentic. They're all from Africa. So one of the things about that, coming from the essence of where things started, you're not going to get this vibration because this is where that material comes from. So just give it some thought. So the altar, the candles going on that space, wherever your altar is. The other thing is what's called a Dear Spirit letter. So what I did is to do a Dear Spirit letter, it requires you to really have some paper, of course. You're going to have a letter. If you can get blue paper, that's even better. Blue is the color, and a pencil. Now, what I did was really, Dear Spirit letter is really designed where you're going to make a list of the important things. Now, this relationship that you may or may not have with your guide, this is really about establishing that relationship. So maybe you don't really know who your guides are. You don't know who you're talking to. We're calling it Dear Spirit because spirit is encompassing. It includes everything and everyone. So if you don't know that actual guide's name, if it's God directly, your higher self, whatever it is, the idea and the word is universal. It's understood. Don't make it a project. Don't get caught up. This is not devil's work. This is not negativity. It's not any of those things, because you'd be surprised how people can go on a whole another tangent. When I really say that you're just avoiding really trying to deal what you need to deal with. So this Dear Spirit letter should be blue paper, pencil, altar. Now, what you're literally going to do, you're going to put the words on here, Dear Spirit. You're going to write Dear Spirit. You're going to put your bullet points of the items that you want to do. I just show you this generically. It's not real. You put the bullet points. Maybe it's, I want a new job. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's about investments. Maybe it's about your home, where you're going to move to, your loving situation. All that is here. So you're going to just pull bullet points. Now, what we don't need to do, here's what everybody likes to do. Please, you're not going to make this a project, because what happened? You're just avoiding it. So the best thing you can really do, just give bullet points. Your guides know what this is about. They know you're looking to meet them halfway, and the goal here is to meet halfway, and then you sign it. Signatures are very interesting because it's really about the symbolism. So that symbol is your unique stamp in the universe. So that stamp of the universe is that blueprint, your personal blueprint. When you sign off on something, that's your own thing. So at that part of it, then it's a great thing that you have your own signature. So you're saying with your invitation, you're writing that letter, this letter, or then it will be placed on your altar. And pencil, reason pencil, we write in pencil, not pen, because this is everlasting. Pencil was made from, lead for the most part, or it's still considered earth. And it's the lead that's used to write on is really what is permanent. So we're really taking earth to really place that here. And that earth is one of the elements, the water, air, fire, earth. So we're doing that, and we're adding that letter. The letter, I myself probably do the letter. If you have privacy issues, just make it something that you can write it. You can fold it up. You can then say, I'm going to take my letter. I don't want people to know my business. Maybe I don't want them to see it. Perhaps you're in a shared space, or perhaps just like you like it. Fold the letter up. Now, we think one-dimensional. The fact it's folded, like, how are they going to read that letter? It's folded up. I don't even know what they can't even see it. That's our thoughts. That's not the universe. It's not the spirits. It's not the guides. They think multidimensional. So the fact that you fold it up is that part. Now, this letter then goes with your candle, goes to your altar. And I'm just to demonstrate, I'm just going to put it here just to show you. But you could, you could perhaps, you could perhaps put that letter like really underneath the candle. and that could be there. Now, the key thing with that is you really want to check in with yourself. You also want to see where you're at. So one of the other things you also want to notice what you asked for and your accomplishments. So make sure what's really, really important here also, go back to your notes. Make sure you're looking at it. Don't just put it out there and don't look at it. It's a two-way street. So then you want to assess yourself. The other thing I want to keep in mind with peace and protection. So now there are different things. Now I have my own, I do believe in God. So I have my Armor God bracelet. So it's about shielding yourself. So whatever your shield is, I also have on what was given to me. It's about the evil eye. I know it's a practice affiliated. So for me, it's really about the blue in the eyes, having my eyes clear about what I'm seeing. So I'm really reflecting that part. So it's been consecrated and prepared. So that's another thing. It's specific to what you want the action to do. So one of the future topics is going to be about consecrating items. But this one's already been blessed. I did it. And I use some of my own things. The other thing about the shield is really it's about this element of water too. So water is refreshing. You want to drink more water. You want to purify yourself. You really want clarity within your body. You want energy around that. So I do have my own little spray too about peace and protection. So peace and protection is a mist. So I'm about mist. So now I'm not going to spray it on myself, spray it in the air here. It's intended to be around the air. Feels good. And it's really intended for you. A mist is very different than a cologne or a perfume. The intention here is you shield yourself by this cloud. And this cloud is intended to be a cloaking. So you walk through it for your peace of protection. So I don't do it myself. I put it in a mist. As you can see it, I embody it. And I ask that to be my front, to be my shield on that. So those are the things. Just to recap, the color is blue. The candle you're going to do for your altar. You also have your Dear Spirit letter. You have your shield's items. You have your spray. You have your mist, and you have to drink of water. So that's the guidance for this month. So we're gonna do kind of check in. I'll do some other things just to see how you're at, how your success is, but be accountable, be responsible, do your goal setting, be very specific around what's gonna happen. It's up to you. You have to do the work. Goodness of thing is discipline. And if you're not a discipline, that's part you should. Use your altar. Get the kit if you don't have it. It's all about being very, very specific. So that's one of the thoughts for this month. That is the guiding principle for January. If you have any questions, again, I want you to share this. Please share it, like it. I also ask you to take a look at my products. Look at the website, guidancebyricchard.com. I ask you to share it. I'm really, really trying to get a lot of interaction. I'm asking for it. Don't forget that. Please include that. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.